Hi everyone. So basically, if a woman goes gray, we're letting ourselves go. But if a man does it, he's a silver fox. So if you're wondering why I'm getting my knickers in a knot, as my mom would say, look at this article. This is what I want to talk about. So I've actually pulled it up here on my iPad so that I can read the same thing that I'm showing you. So on the one side, we see the beautiful Queen of Spain. It says, sorry, Lizia, but going gray just says a woman has given up. So that's the messaging that we're telling women who publicly go gray. The author then says she sounds a warning after Spain's queen sports a startling silver streak. So for a woman to go gray, it's startling. And then on the other side, we have Colin Farrell, who looks great in his grays as well. It says, Colin Farrell is a silver fox as the 43-year-old actor goes for an early morning coffee in Los Angeles. So talk about his double standard. So one messaging is very negative, that this woman is not allowed to go gray, and if she does, it's startling us. And the other one, Colin Farrell, is referred to as a silver fox. So I want to talk about why that is, and just identifying or addressing that there is such a variation regarding us embracing women aging and men aging, or women going gray and men going gray. So I think that this is something that has been going on for a long time. Women are inundated from a very early age that our value comes from our youth. And how dare we decide to embrace letting go of some parts of our youth, or how dare we decide to embrace our aging. So we need to feel at fault or apologize in some way for not looking like we did in our 20s, and fully embracing what we look like now in our 40s or 50s or 60s, whenever you decide to embrace your grace. So basically, I just grabbed a piece of paper, I jotted down something, I want to make sure I don't miss anything. But I think it's pretty much a general consensus that we have this unrealistic expectation of women when we age, and we do not put that same expectation on men. I read another article recently, and I can't remember what it was. It didn't have to do with gray hair, but it had to do with our bodies, and how we've deemed like men going kind of soft in their middle ages as a dad bod. And there's been this positive spin on even having a dad bod, while women are still told that we call ours a muffin top. Like there's nothing positive about what we refer to a woman who maybe doesn't look like they did in their 20s. But for men, society has reframed it into a positive. So we've got the silver foxes, we've got the dad bods, but if we look back, men have never really tied, or as much as women have, men have never really tied their value and their self-worth to their appearances. I would say men probably tied their self-worth to more their jobs and their income and stuff like that. So women have been very susceptible to the messaging of society that tells us our youth is what makes us valuable. And that is just an unrealistic expectation for us to hold on to. We also tie very much of our confidence and our self-esteem to what we look like. So I think, when we decide to embrace our aging, it can really mess with our feelings of self-worth. And something I wrote down that really is kind of upsetting to me about this whole process is that sometimes the very people who you'd think you would be your supporter, meaning other women, are the very people who are the hardest on you. So in my going gray journey, I've done it, like I've mentioned, publicly on my social media, but probably the most negative comments that I've received have been from women. And I've tried to understand why that comes from, why they would do that. And I've kind of come to the conclusion that my going gray sets off something that they know and something that they've felt is secure. So, maybe embracing their youth or trying to hold on to their youth gives them the sense of security that they're valuable. And then watching me embrace my gray hair, it's changing the narrative for them, and they're not ready to hear that change of narrative just yet. So I think that is time. That was the other thing I wrote down there that I wanted to make sure I didn't forget. I think it's really poignant for us to remember that this is padding someone's pocket. There is a whole business on our insecurities. So as long as they can keep us insecure about our youth and our looks, we're gonna buy the cream, we're gonna buy the hair dye, we're gonna buy the diet pills. And I'm not saying not to do some of those things. Like I have makeup on today, I wash my face every night, I put skin cream on, I take collagen. I do everything that I can, but it doesn't affect my self-worth. And I know that none of it is going to put me back into my 20s. And so if someone started, I posted a picture, actually, it might be in my community page. And I purposely did a really close one of my wrinkles because I just want to start embracing who I am and embracing my aging process and celebrate it. And I think if my self-worth can stop being tied with holding on to my youth and start being tied to things other than your physical appearance, that I think the next part of this journey in life is going to be so much better. So my advice is realize that that message that is coming from society is it. It's just an outside external message that's been perpetuated for a very, very, very long time. So it is up to you to change your own thought process and your narrative. And it doesn't have to align to society's view and what they think. You can rechange what you think, and you can switch what you find valuable about yourself and what you start giving value to. So if my value, say, comes from me being a good mom, then I can really put that. It doesn't matter what I look like as I'm being a good mom, but I'm just being a good mom, or I'm being a good friend, I'm being a good wife, I'm being a good grandma. My value can come from what I'm contributing to this world. I might be an amazing volunteer. I might be great at my job. I might be really good at research. I might be really good at something, and I'm changing. Like right now, for instance, I feel like I've done my very small part at starting to change the narrative of going gray. So instead of my value being in my brunette hair or in my silver hair, I think my value can be from trying to change this narrative to free women to find value in themselves. That's something separate from our youth. And another thing I was thinking about, if we look back, the narrative on things like this are changing. We used to, I know when I was a kid, I don't think we ever saw a supermodel that was a plus size model. And then suddenly we changed the narrative, and there are these beautiful full-figured women out there being models and flaunting their stuff, and they look amazing. And I think a lot more women are relating to women that look like them more than women who fit this small percentage of the population. And we since learned all, these eating disorders and things that were going on in the modeling industry, as there was so much pressure to have this unrealistic goal as to what they should look like. And then that was being perpetuated to our youth and to ourselves as we were growing up. And I think right now I'm just so ready to shed it. I'm so ready to not waste one more day thinking about it. So when I saw this article and I see this powerful woman, she is a queen, for heaven's sakes, and somebody took the time to write an article, I just sort of thought, like, that phrase where, like, small-minded people with small-minded thoughts, like, if this is what we were concerned about, is this beautiful, powerful woman who does so much good, and we're concerned about knocking her down a notch. And the article was written by another woman. So why wouldn't you as a woman try to encourage this woman and build her up, as opposed to taking something about her physical appearance to tear her down? So I don't get it. I am I'm a woman supporting woman kind of gal. And I think that's what we have to be. We need to change the narrative. We need to help others to be kind on ourselves as we age. And it's okay to age, because our value is not in how we look. Let's take one lesson from the men, because the men never put this much effort on what they look like. Because they have never tied their self-worth to their looks as much as women do. That's what I think. So anyways, that's my rant for the day. Thanks for listening to it. I'm so curious if you had read this article, if you heard about this article, or you have thoughts about it. And I think all we can do is keep normalizing gray hair, keep not being embarrassed about it, and just realize that, your decision to go gray is a very confident one, and it shouldn't be, but it is, because of the expectations about society. So just silence that voice, find your inner voice, and proudly go gray, proudly sport your silver sparkles, ladies. Because I think this world needs it. I think we need to change the narrative for the generations that are coming after us. So anyways, very proud to be a part of it. Thanks for listening to my rant today. I really appreciate all your support on here on my YouTube channel. Hope you have a wonderful day. Okay, take care.